Hi, teachers all over the world, especially English teachers or teachers of teaching English, British English, American English, whatever the type of English or accent you have. But there is a big problem for most teachers, especially teachers of the beginning cycle or role in schools. It is about vocabs. It is not about the vocabs or amount of vocabs or cluster of vocabs you have. No, it's about vocabs, vocabulary section, how to teach to your classrooms. I mean, effectively teaching how to teach effectively and extensively vocabs and classrooms. So this webinar today for you to help you about the whole and a great effective technique, only one technique, and it's a gift for you today, and you will see that if you just follow up and continue with me. I have a lot of questions about vocabs teaching vocabulary, ways of teaching vocabulary, about the spelling test. How could we do a spelling test? Is it useful or not? I will answer about all vocabs today here, and I will be more subscribe to get the notes and the updates for my channel and videos. Again, coming back to the question, how to teach vocabulary, how to apply strategies of vocabulary, how to be apps classrooms. What about you if you have inspector visits your classes and especially in a day of vocabs? What are the mistakes most teachers do when they teach vocabs? What about the obstacles, challenges when they teach vocabs? Uh, what is the best technique to use, effective one, and tried and applied to teach vocabs in a classroom? All of these questions I will answer on this webinar on live in front of you with your cooperation and questions. If you have a question, I'm waiting for questions, and I will, from time to time, read the question and try to answer, or it will be automatically answered in my talks. Let's go through vocabs. Vocabulary, as you can see with me now, just sharing with you the file and specific and details about how to teach vocabs. Let's see now here with you the whole story. This webinar will be faced and forward to teachers of grades 5, 6 till 12. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 teachers. They are related and connected to our webinar about vocabs today. And you can see now the best strategy names is D.S.A. What is D.S.A? How could we apply D.S.A? Why is it useful, D.S.A? We will answer about these questions for this effective strategy, D.S.A. Let's see what's next. To change your career, you have to be updated, up to date, always in teaching. You have to get one useful or more than one useful techniques for teaching vocabulary. But here I will give you the best and only the best. You will see that technique and why, reasons why I choose this technique, D.S.A, to teach vocabs. Okay, so you know that vocabulary words, new words, or in English, in the context, in the cards, on the cards, flashcards, magazines, and in songs, texts, whatever the type of the text. So vocabs is the most important section. It's like food for students. No one can live without vocabs in English. Can be better, can be progressive in English without vocabulary. So this is an important and vital point. Even with the inspectors, they are concerning more about the vocab section. Okay, D.S.A. Sorry. So yeah, I got a question now. Please explain D.S.A. Yes, I will. I'm gonna explain, but you have to be patient with me because we have a lot of information to explain and extend this strategy or technique D.S.A. How to teach vocabs using D.S.A. Okay, before I start, I have to introduce something to you. Before you apply this technique D.S.A. to teach vocabulary inside classrooms, teachers, please divide your classroom into groups. So grouping your students inside the class will help you more to apply this one. Okay, teacher, I know some of you will ask about, is this strategy effective online classes or just in the school? It will be effective for both in the schools or distance learning too. So let's go. Point one, divide your classes into groups, whether it's online classes or in the school. So this is point one before you start to apply D.S.A. technique. So grouping students, and you can see now, means different roles. If you have a group, that means different roles. We have different roles in the group, but you cannot put all of the students with the same role. All of the students of the group are leaders. No, that's wrong. And this is not, it's a mistake here. And it's not useful. It's useless. But you have to put in the group different roles. One is leader and so on, as you can see here, at least 4 roles to be played by the group members. One is a leader, another is a writer, another is a presenter, and one is illustrator. If you have more than that, and you can do, for example, members, member one, member two, and so on, so at least. But you have to mention in the group of students the 4 sections in front of you: a leader, writer, presenter, and illustrator. So who is leader? What is the role of the leader? Uh, Characteristics of leaders. You can go to this section or this point for another session, and we will do that in another webinar next one. So we have leader, writer, presenter, illustrator, and members if you have more than 4 in one group. So let's go now. So we did now point one. We group students, we collect students into groups, classify the class into groups, group 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the number of each group. So one is a leader, another is a writer, one is a presenter and illustrator. So what we will do next, if we did that one, if we divide the class, so what's next? To achieve D.S.A. vocabs, to achieve D.S.A. strategy and technique to teach effectively the vocabulary in your classrooms, you did now point one, I mean you group, you classify, you divide your sections or classes into groups with the labels I mentioned now about leaders, writers, reporters, or speakers, and so on. Illustrator, the number 4. But you have to take some notes now. Note 1, and these are essential notes. I have only 2 notes for you. So note 1, what is it? Be careful and take care of this point now. Okay, I have a question here by Mr. Mr. Ali. So one of the questions by Mr. Ali is about um, uh, um, how can we group or classify students online? Yes, just to mention your students in a list, and you can say, for example, A student group 1, and B students is group 2. So A with C with D, B with E with F. So tell your students that this is your group and mention that for them online. and repeated that from day to day and so on a slide. So they will keep that my friend is Ali in the group, another friend is Zaid in another group, and Sarah, for example, in group C, and so on. So this is how to do. Just mention them, labels, the names of the groups. Okay, point one, as I told you, I have two notes, two VIP notes, essential, vital notes for you. Note one is about you are a teacher and you are looking for skills. Yes, put this point here in your mind. You are looking for skills. You're teaching skills, you're teaching knowledge to get to extract skills from students. So you are looking. Why do you mention this note for you? Because we have two types of skills. When you understand knowledge of the text, whatever, by your teachers, I mean the students will get the skills into two types: productive skills and receptive skills. You have to know this note. So, receptive skills, the skills that you send to to your students, I mean reading skills, also listening skills. So students receive these skills, two skills, reading skills and listening skills. But productive skills, the students will improve and produce, introduce, present, show you these two skills. I mean, writing skills and speaking skills. So productive skills like writing and speaking, and receptive skills like reading and listening. This is note one. You have to know that. You have to know this note also, that the most important of all teachers, effective teachers, modern teachers, 21st century teachers are looking for productive skills, writing skills, and speaking skills. Even the inspectors, when they visit your classes, they are looking for productive skills. Going back to note two, as in front of you, as I taught you, it's about reading and writing, speaking and listening, which one is output or input. So you will find that receptive means input, it's about listening and reading, and output means productive skills like speaking and writing. Note number two. Note number two is about some wrong thoughts. Most or some teachers uh, think that for example, spelling test is effective and teacher-centered when they always explain vocabs for students. That's effective technique. And just to concentrate about the highlight words, for example, or vocabs, new vocabs only in the text, this is effective technique. No, that's wrong. There are main six mistakes done by new teachers or beginner teachers in teaching classrooms. I mean, especially vocabs or vocabulary. What are the main six mistakes that done by new teachers or by less experienced teachers? So we have one. It's about separating class for vocabulary. Some teachers assign only one time or one day for teaching vocabulary. For example, if we have 5 classes a week, one of the classes will be for vocabs. This is a wrong thought. That's wrong. Don't assign a specific time for one day or one class, or even a whole one class for vocabs during the classes of the week. That's wrong thought, and this is a bad. One of the main mistakes is about only highlighted words done or taught by teachers. Some new teachers just teach their students only just highlight a new. One of the main mistakes also, number 3, is about spelling test. Most, not some. Most teachers think that one of the technique to revise and check the vocabs for students is doing a spelling test, and that's wrong. One of the mistakes, a fat mistake done by teachers is spelling test. Is wrong. Is wrong, and I will tell you how to do that as effective spelling test, not by that traditional way. One of the most mistakes also, or one of the main 6 mistakes, is number 4, is about explaining the new vocabs by teachers to students, so teachers centered, and that's wrong. Also avoiding, some teachers just not synonyms and antonyms for the vocabs, just explaining the meaning of the vocabs, even putting the vocabs in a sentence. All of that is not enough, but you have here just receptive skills. Some teachers just concentrate on just receptive, I mean on listening and reading without using vocabs in writing and in speaking. So that's wrong if you concentrate about receptive skills, not productive skills. These are the main six mistakes done by some teachers, especially new teachers and with low experience. Okay, let's go to example about that. For example, I have here a passage. For example, this is a passage, for example, with many paragraphs, for example, and this is now in front of me. Some teachers will just concentrate on the highlighted words. That's wrong. Some teachers will use these highlighted words, for example, in the spelling test. That's wrong. Some teachers will explain the meaning of these words to the students, or the explanation done by new teachers, and that's also wrong. So this is example about the main 6 mistakes done by teachers. Some teachers will only just explain and show, illustrate the meaning of the word and put in a sentences, but the problem, they will not use synonyms of the main word and new word, or just antonyms, nothing of that. And this is one of the mistakes. As I mentioned before, there are main 6 mistakes done by new teachers and teachers of low experience. So let's see now one of the mistakes as well say, hey, students, I will say the word only twice, and you have to write that. Repeat it twice. That's all. And for example, first one is cat, second one is hat, third is mat, and so on. That's wrong. This is a bad technique, and it's a disease. It's not a solving or a solution for keeping vocabs. No, that's wrong. We'll see that later. Teacher centered, as I mentioned before, the teachers with the student 1 and 2 and 3 and so on, all knowledge done by students, by teacher, all explanation done by teachers. So they are only just listeners listening to you, and that's wrong. You have to change this mood. What is D.S.A? This is the main question now. So what is D.S.A, Mr.? D.S.A is what? This technique is what? This technique is used for online classes and even inside the classroom. So what is it? Is it effective? Is it available? Is it effective for online classes and inside classes too? Why is it important and vital? Why you say that? Why you choose it? We will see the answer for all of that. But first, what is a D.S.A? Let's go. D.S.A means 5 times 5 times 5. Huh? Yes. It's not a game. 5 days, 5 sections, 5 assessments. D is days, S is sections, and A is a short form of assessments. So 5 times 5 times 5, I mean the schools of 5 days a week. So days, section, assessment, D.S.A. Still, what is it? May you clarify this one again in details and be more specific? Yes, I will. Be with me again. Why D.S.A is important? Okay, I will answer. Don't worry about what is D.S.A, how to apply, but why is it important? I told you before that you were a teacher of 21st century. You have to be modern. You have to be facilitator. You have to be a guide, not a boss, a manager. No, you have to be a leader, so a guide for students. So why is DSA important and vital for techniques of explaining vocabulary during the classes? Why? Because this strategy or technique is concentrating on focusing on productive skills. Perfect. Thank you, man. Productive skills. You one of you. Yes, answer this question and follow me one by one. Perfect. That's good. Marvelous answer. Yes, we are concentrating on, yes, productive skills. I mean, writing and speaking. So this technique will help you, will guide you, will aid you, will show you how to apply this technique, and the outcomes of the students will be productive outcomes. I mean, writing and speaking. So why? I have here at least 4 reasons. Because I have in this technique synonyms and antonyms, not only just the new vocabs. So now it's multi-dictionary with the student. Also, I have a real and a measurable, a solid progress for students. I can see it when they write, and I see the new vocabs during the writing. So this is a new and a measurable progress. Even what about the speaking when they use a presentation in front of the class, for example, about the topic using the new vocabs with antonyms, with synonyms, it means a new progress and a solid progress I can measure. Also, it's productive. It's concentrating about productive, as I told you, writing and speaking, productive skills. And also, it's a transformation from teacher-centered to student-centered. I mean, student-centered. Everything will be done by the student itself, like engagement. Also, challenge will be by students. Collaboration will be between students. Control will be by students, not the teacher. Personalization of the students will be clear for us. Relevance will be clear for us when you mention and use DSA technique in vocabs. What is DSA? 5 times 5 times 5 days times sections times assessments, and I will explain it in details. Now, how to, and this is the main course, how to apply DSA. Days, sections, assessments. How to apply it? How to apply? I mean, effectively apply. How? Let's go. 5 times 5 times 5 days, sections, assessments, DSA, and it means 5 days. So day one. Day one, I call day one, it's about collecting flowers. So day one, collecting flowers. I mean by flowers, I mean vocabs. So collecting vocabs, day one. But how to do that day one? Huh? Day one, students will collect in day one flowers, I mean vocabs, but in groups. I mean, you classify, if you remember, your students into groups of 4 students, I mean for roles, illustrator and a speaker and writer and also leader. So you will mention that this group is noun group, and this one is verbs group, and this one is adjective group, and this one is adverb group, and this one is WH question group. So you have to do that. Yes, this is day one. You will label your groups inside the classes into these names. You will say noun groups, this group, and verb groups, adjectives, adverbs, and WH questions. Good. So this is day one. Okay, why? And time is 10 minutes. And 10 minutes of the first day, I mean the first day of the week, in 10 minutes, you will ask your students now, they are groups and noun groups, verbs groups, and adjectives, adverbs, and WH questions group. So you will ask each group to do their job according to the title or the label. So noun groups, group that will collect nouns from the text. You will say, hey students, open the textbook, page so and so. Okay, from page 7 till page 10, 3 pages. I want you to collect the title of your group. collect nouns. So they will collect nouns. Group nouns will collect nouns, and verbs group will collect verbs in the same 3 pages. An adjective group will collect adjectives, and adverb will collect adverb. WH will ask questions using WH. What question? Why question? Without answering. How question? Who question? Where question? When question? Why question? And so on. Or how much? How many? And so on. So now in 10 minutes, you will collect most details just to separate details about the vocabs. So at the end of the 10 minutes, you will have in one group repeated lists of nouns. In this group, you will have lists of verbs. This man, the leader of this group of verb group, for example, collects 10 nouns, 10 verbs. Sorry, and his friend, for example, is collecting, and this one is a speaker collecting 5 groups, just five verbs. Sorry, and so on. So you have 4 members means 4 lists, and you have adjective group, for example, and 4 lists of adjectives during the 3 pages of that the text. Then WH question, you will have some questions, different questions, maybe repeated questions, means 4 lists of questions, each one differentiated from the other. Maybe this one 3 questions and the other one of a speaker in this group 6 questions, and so on. So now you have different sources of answers about vocabs, just vocabs in 10 minutes. This is day 1. Okay. What is day 2? So we collect flowers. I told you now example about day 1. So for example, I have now the 3 pages in front of you, for example. So you'll ask students, read the 3 pages in front of you. Noun group, please collect nouns like century. So some students will collect century, age, 16th, expedition, novel, intrigue, and so on, emperor, whatever. Others will collect adjective group, will collect adjectives like young, red lines. I give you example here. Terrestrial, for example, also grade. Others will collect, for example, verbs like served, dismissed, led, and so on. So here you will have 5 lists, 5 days, 5 lists in one day in 10 minutes. List of questions, list of adjectives, lists of verbs, lists of nouns, and lists of adverbs. When you finish day 1, only 10 minutes, by the way, and you can go through the reading, then writing, then thinking questions, you can complete your lesson. I'm talking just about a part of vocabs time. Vocabulary time in lesson 1, class 1, day 1 is only 10 minutes. Okay, let's go to example about WH question. So a group of questions will just read to ask questions without answer. For example, students of questioning group will write questions without answering, like why was the 16th century, for example, an age of great discovery? What did Magellan, for example, do then? When did he offer to serve Charles V or the 5th of Spain, the king of Spain, whatever? Okay, there's a question. Yes, thanks, Miss Sarah. I think Sarah. Yes. So she's asking, what if I have lower students, what they can do, because they cannot, for example, I gave you here the solution. It's about BP, or 3, and so on. You will ask them, I mean, days, minutes, and so on. Things, items, objects, animals, birds, and so on. Figures for F means numbers in letters, numbers in figures. portions, I mean percentage, so on and so on, fractions, whatever decimal number, whatever you have numbers and names of, I'm sorry. So day in day two, be with me and complete what happened. But you have to know again, launch of a best technique, D.S.A. Again, just a minute. I will be with you. Technique, what to do, how to explain vocabulary in a very best technique. It's my choice and I did it. It's very technique, very good technique and very useful for you teachers. So please follow up, but don't forget again and again to help me and support my channel. Subscribe, like, and share. See you later for next part about day two. I will be with you. It's only 1 minute. And good to see you again. Thanks for some questions I got now about the first section, and most of you just said and meant it's clear for us and all of you. Day one, as I talked about the D.S.A, and we got day. And day two, what we will do is about to complete the same technique of D.S.A, but in just 10 minutes. So please focus on time management, only just 10 minutes for find yourself that you did a great job for explaining and illustration for the vocabulary in a text. Any text for grades from grade 5 to grade 12. Let's share with you again day two. Well, what you do with grade 2. Let's go to day 2. Please concentrate again, and don't forget, please, to subscribe and like and share to support my channel about that. And for next webinars, will be online with you. Day two. Day two, as I told you, the title is about arranging flowers or vocabs again. So leaders of each group in day two, what we call let's arrange the flowers that we collected before in day one. Vocabs. So leaders of each group, we have leader, we have speaker, we have illustrator, we have also a writer. So leaders of each group will take the nouns. So leader of the group, noun group, will take the list of nouns from his teammate. Then, sure, there are some nouns will be repeated from list to another list. So he will write one list without repetition for nouns, one list. The leader of a verbs group will also collect lists of verbs from his teammates and change it into one list of verbs, only one list. We'll do that in base form, past form of the verb, and past participle about the verb. So 3 shapes of one verb. He will do that because he's leader always are the best knowledgeable students. And leader of adjectives group will collect all lists of adjectives from his teammates. Adjectives without repetition. The same for adverbs, and the same for questions. Leaders of question group will collect the lists of questions and write them in a list, one list. So how many lists we have now? We have 5 lists. List of one for nouns, list for verbs, one list for adjectives, one list for adverbs, one list for questions. without answers. And the list of verbs will be classified into three sections. One is for present simple, or what we call base form, another for past form, and the third is past participle. That's perfect. So what time for this job or task is only 10 minutes. It's easy, by the way. When you got that, you will do the next. For example, as I told you here, it will be one list of nouns, one list of verbs, but into three sections: a base form, past participle. One list of adjectives, and when you finish all the lists, I mean 5 lists, you will hang all of that on the wall. Put that one on a wall, what we call proud wall. Proud wall, because this is the best technique you got. Resources, outcomes. Now it's outcomes like hands-on activities, outcomes. You have to be proud when they did that for you. So it's a proud wall. Good, that's perfect. What else? That's day 2, by the way. In day three, I mean 10 minutes of next day, I mean day 3, it's only just to smell the flowers, touch the vocabulary, try to use. How that? Let's see day 3 because I like it more. It's a productive skill now. Let's say that day 3, it's let's smell flowers. Let's smell flowers. So students will watch a video, watch a photo on the smart board in front of them by you. Then they will be asked to describe the actions in the video, or the characters in the video, or in the photo. So nouns groups will describe the photo or the video using their nouns list. Verbs groups will describe the photo using their verbs list. Adjectives group will describe the photo or the video using adjectives list. Adverbs too. Also, the WH question will ask questions about the group, but not the same list, adding to their list. So they prepare some questions about the video or about the photo. Now, all the groups are working one time, but different works. And this is what we call multitasks in one time. And only the time is 10 minutes for all of them. It will be enough time to do that. So don't worry about that. Okay, perfect. This is day 3. So day 3, it's about describing people and characters in the video, or places, or whatever in the photo, and so on. Okay, that's good. What about day 4? More extensive work will be in day 4. Can you imagine that? Only 10 minutes, but with organized work. D.S.A technique will help you to be effective teacher when you explain vocabulary to students. So day 4, let's test repeat. Use in a sign language way. It's technique or a game. We use the questions, WH questions, when we have in a list of questioning group. So even in the text meaning and themes. Also, questions will be redirected to verbs group, and the verbs group will answer about these questions using the verbs list. Then the adjectives and so on, then the adverbs. It's a fun time to play this game. Okay, what about sign language? You mentioned sign language in questions. How that? In front of you. The American Sign Language, if you want to say, for example, what, you do that without speaking. So you say, I need a question of using what. So one of the students of your group and questioning group will ask a question of what. Then the nouns group will answer the question of what using nouns list. Then what for another one, verbs groups. So verbs groups will answer the question of what using verbs list, and so on. Then one of the questioning group, another one, will use a question of why, or for example, which, so like that. So we'll do that without saying which. And you know the sign language of which, this one. So one of the questioning group, other one will ask a question to nouns groups using which. So nouns group, one of the nouns groups will answer using the nouns list. I think it's clear now. Oh, thanks for that one who's, yes, Peter, hi, Peter. Thank you for supporting me. Oh, yes. Oh, subscription. Thank you a lot. Thanks. You like the way. Thanks. Me too. I told you this is a best inside classes, so please concentrate how to do that from day to day. It's only 10 minutes a day. Okay. Students will read each paragraph and make questions later. Next of the classes, next time, I mean, and making questions, reading paragraph, and making questions about plots, about characters, about themes, points of views, and so on. Okay, what about the last day? The last day is my favorite day. It's the best. Okay, so we did a great job of vocabs in 4 days, and you still explaining how to do again for the 5th day, the last day. Yes, it's a workshop. It's on above the level, not on the level. So let's say, what is day 5? In the 5th day, it's a workshop. Let's collect feedback from students. How to know their progress. I know they did well. And so day 5, you will say that your group is illustration. Do you remember that in each group there is illustrator? Do you remember that in each group there is a presenter? Do you remember that in each group there is a writer? Do you remember that in each group there is a leader? Okay, perfect. So you will collect all illustrators from each group in one group and ask them, when we will read this paragraph, understand the paragraph meaning and make a drawing, make a painting, illustrate that meaning in your notebooks. And ask a present your group, and group collected them, and ask them, when your students draw, take the drawing, take the paintings, take the illustration, and try to present it to your students. So you have now presentation and presenting work, and presenters too. Well skillful. You can also collect writers of each group. So you will be in one group of writing or writers, and they will listen to the presentation or presenting done by their friends, and they will write a summary for each presenter. Then leaders will collect the writing by writing groups, and will try to put in above the word the synonym, under the word the antonyms. Great, amazing, tremendous workshop, even in vocabs. But take care, the time of this one is 30 minutes, 30 minutes, because you have a lot of work, illustration work, presentation work, writing work, antonyms, synonyms work. So a lot of time. It's only 30 minutes enough for doing this job on like day 5. Let's see that. Illustration, 10 minutes. Illustrator of each group will be together to illustrate, to draw the meaning of the paragraphs that they have read. And how to apply in front of you. Illustration members in the groups are assigned to listen to the paragraphs read by the group leaders one by one, then draw what they get, what they understand in their notebooks or on the board. Presentation. So what to do? Okay. How to apply presentation in 10 minutes too. So presentation members of the whole groups will look at each drawing. Have a look, sorry, at each drawing, at each paintings. So present it in a short presentation in front of all students. Speaking skills, productive skills. Then writing. What happened? How to apply writing at the same time, by the way, with the presentation. So presentation is working on, and writers are working on the presentation at the same time and write the summary in each paragraph or in a composition or an essay type. And antonyms, as I told you, and synonyms done by leaders. So leaders will take the writing, then put read one word, for example, put the synonyms above, and under, well, put antonyms of these vocabs. Okay, how to apply synonyms? As I told you, you can also do a game between students, team 1 and 2. You can classify the whole class into two teams. Team 1, for example, one of the students in team 1 tell a word to team 2. One of the students in team 2 say the part of speech, this word is noun, this word is verb, this word is adjective, and using the synonyms and antonyms. And team 2, one of the students in team 2 will say a new word to team 1. That's the same for team 1. One of the students in team 1 will say the parts of speech is noun, verb, adjective, and so on, and give them the synonyms and antonyms. Or, as I told you before, leaders can take the written outcomes, productive, and then read the vocabs, then put one vocab above as a synonym, another one under as antonym. Great two strategies or techniques to do for applying synonyms and antonyms. I have done one. I like the time with you, and I tried to be summarized and brief to you. So next webinar will be about teaching strategies for reading comprehension, how to teach reading comprehension, reading text to your students, and how to be effective teacher in reading texts when you teach your students in classrooms. Um, Please, I think I did my best today to explain to you D.S.A as a technique, 5 times 5 times 5, 5 days, 5 um, 5 sections, and 5 assessments. So please don't forget to subscribe, support my channel, because I need your help. I'm with you everything, and I'm without you nothing. Thank you for those subscribers helping me a lot, and thank you for you newcomers to my channel for supporting me today. And I hope I answered all questions for you. Thanks a lot again, and I hope you subscribe, like, and share. I have done now, and time is going on faster, so please don't forget